Hey, what's up? I'm here with Amy Lee of Evanescence. How you doing, Amy?
Good, how are you?
Good. Welcome back to Canada.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
How was Rock on the Range? Because that was like a big sort of comeback show, and it
Yeah.
was in Winnipeg, so you did it for Canadians.
That's right. It was awesome.
Thank you.
It was really good. It was our second show back in 2 years, and man, it felt great. The crowd was awesome. It was fun. I was a little nervous, honestly, like just
Yeah.
because it had been a while, and I haven't played the rock star in a while. But man, it just came right back as soon as I stepped out on the stage. It was just like really natural, and I had a great time.
Are you comfortable with the new stuff? Are you playing a lot of new stuff? You know what I mean?
Honestly, we're more comfortable with the new stuff than the old stuff because that's all we've been like completely focused on for the past 6 months and more. But yeah, the new ones went great, I think.
Is it weird, when you're playing music and the album hasn't come out yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's that always like?
Well, we've never done that before. This is the first time that we're out playing shows before the record is out. I used to be a lot more scared of it, but we're just a stronger live band than we've ever been before. We know what we're doing. I'm so proud of all the guys that I'm working with. The band rules. So, I don't know. I just embraced it. We're so much more excited, about the new music than playing the old songs again that it's worth it. It's worth it if there's some YouTube videos out there and they're bad quality or whatever. I don't care. The songs are great.
Well, because the crowd, obviously they have their favorites, right?
Yeah.
But then when you play the new stuff, usually sometimes the crowd will get a little bit quieter and
Right.
do you know what I mean? Are you aware of that sort of stuff?
Yeah, totally. They're just
Yeah.
listening. They're like, ooh, I haven't heard this one before, for
Yeah.
sure. But I think it went over really well.
People digging it?
Yeah, I do think they're digging it.
So-
We started and finished with new ones.
Okay, cool. Really finished with the new one?
Brave.
Wow, that's very
Yes.
brave. We'll talk about the new single, What You Want, because that's the first thing I guess everybody's heard.
Yeah.
And people are talking about the theme of freedom. And I guess, tell me about, why you took the break. Because I read a wicked quote from you, and it was about you just need to go live in NYC and have a small apartment and go walking and buying groceries and not have a car.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't have a car. I still don't have a car.
Neither do I.
It's nice. It's liberating.
I can drive, but
Yeah,
I don't
me
have a
too.
car yet.
Actually, I don't have a license anymore because it expired and I didn't renew it for a long time. And now I just can't drive, which is sort of frustrating because I've been out of town. I've been in Nashville. We've been working on the record. We made the whole thing there.
Yeah.
So the guys just have to drive me around. It's fine. After we finished touring The Open Door, it was 2007. I was 26. I had been completely just doing Evanescence since I was a teenager, and I needed to find myself as an adult in this world and just be Amy without being the lead singer of Evanescence every day, That was really good for me. Part of part of me, actually, it turns out, is the girl from Evanescence at the end of the day. It's not a character I made up, it's really me.
Yeah.
So it was good for me to step away, watch some music, live. I learned to play the harp in the time off as well.
Yeah, which is really rad.
Yeah.
How hard is the harp to play? It looks like it's a really hard thing to play.
It is hard, and I'm not pretending that I'm the best harp player in the world, but definitely enough to be able to write with it and use it a little bit on the record. It's very fun. I mean, it's fun for me to be able to enrich my brain and move forward learning wise. I took classical piano all growing up, and then when we started doing the Evanescence thing, I was just making music. So it was cool. I knew as soon as we finished, I wanted to start learning again, whether it was going back to school or just taking a new instrument or whatever. And it's really cool to be able to play another instrument. It's great. It makes you think a different way. It makes you write a different way.
Well, why did you pick the harp? Were you just I'm going to pick the hardest instrument possible?
It is hard. There's 7 pedals.
They're big. They're like big things.
Yeah.
They look really
but
heavy.
You know what? I knew that I had a little bit of a head start because of the piano playing. It's
Yeah.
not completely different. It's, it's a grand piano upright
Yeah.
instead of on its side.
Okay.
So,
I have no musical talent whatsoever, so I don't understand what
yeah.
you're talking
Well, I
about.
had a little head start. It's sort of like a mix between piano and guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you mentioned that, Evanescence got big when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? I mean, was that super crazy for you as a kid, growing up and being famous, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it all happened so fast. I almost didn't get a chance to imagine it being any different. I mean, it's not like I was a child. I mean, I
Right.
was
Yeah.
18, I'd graduated high school and everything first.
Yeah.
But
You changed a lot from 18 to 30, right?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm so grateful and glad and happy about the choice to step away for a few years and collect myself and get inspired again, because I think that the music is fresh. It's new again, There's a real new life in the new record. And part of that is that I am in love with it again. I'm in love with the original idea, plus I have all these new ideas.
What else can you tell fans about the record? Because I mean, one thing I can say is there's a lot of strings on it. It's
Sure, as
very
always.
yeah, it's very epic.
Yes.
Um,
Of course.
yeah.
Wouldn't be Evanescence without that.
We'll talk about that side of things because I know you're like a big Tim Burton, Danny Elfman
yeah.
fan, and for me, that sort of
Ties.
yeah.
For sure. Well, I think actually, let me start with this. I think that one of the things about this record that is different a little bit and that is better to me is it's got a really strong band core, like this feeling, like a musician feeling of a live band at the center of it all. It's got the big strings and the epic qualities that make it so cinematic, and that's a big part of the idea of Evanescence. But at the heart of it all, like a lot of these songs, all of them we worked on as a group. All of us, from the drummer, both guitar players and the bass player, like sitting down, me at the piano, and us just like jamming and coming up with the structures of the songs and doing some writing like that. It makes everything to me just punch harder and feel just tighter and groovier and more like a band, you know, at the center of it all. I do write alone sometimes or with one of the guys, and we'll sit, you know, at the computer with the keyboards and the stuff and kind of use drum loops and stuff to write. But I did that pretty much only that for the other records, like for starting out the songs. And that just makes the songs move in a certain way that's a little bit more linear, like same from front to end. Our songs have always been very dynamic, but this time the dynamics were coming into it like from the ground up. And I think that you can feel that.
That mean less work for you? Were you just like, okay, you guys can go?
No, we've been writing for years. It was definitely plenty of work, but it was a labor of love.
Well, I mean, how good does it feel to have it finally
Great.
come out? Because it was supposed to come out a while ago, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've been working on it for a long time, and it took a lot of twists and turns to get it all really where I wanted it to be, and it's definitely there. Super proud of it. I made the last tweak like this morning. It's only finally officially finished now, like today.
Wow. Are you a perfectionist?
When it comes to the music, yeah. Yeah.
Talk about, tell me a little bit about sort of that balance of like, because you guys get heavy, but then you also get melodic and poppy, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, how do you walk that line? Because you've been able to sort of walk it. So are there moments where you're like, okay, this is way too heavy, or like this is way too poppy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, totally.
Cool.
But you got to write those songs.
Yeah.
Like, and then listen back and go, all right, this one's not gonna make it. This one's for something else. All right, fine, it was fun, you know. But even just not even just between heavy and pop, but also, you know, between quiet, tiny, intimate, like vocal and piano only moments exploding into a giant chorus with like a whole band and strings all involved. I think those dynamics are, well, the heavy wouldn't be heavy if it wasn't against the light, right?
Yeah, I guess
so. I think those dynamics is part of what makes it feel so big.
How important was Nick in the production of this record? Because he produced one of my favorite albums that came out, Diamond Eyes.
Yes, mine
And-
too.
yeah.
Mine too. That's part of the decision to work with Nick. We were looking, once we really had the music and we knew what we wanted, we knew the real direction of the record and everything. It's like, okay, we knew how to pick the producer. So I met with a few different guys, and Nick, when I started researching, I was like, oh my God, like the two favorite rock records of me and the band actually in the past year, or it was then year, were Diamond Eyes and the new Alice in Chains record as well.
Yeah.
And they were both by the same guy, and we were just like, I got to meet this guy, you know. So instantly we hit it off. He's a rock fan. He's just really positive energy, great person with great ideas. And for me, I have a ton of ideas, but I need help decision making. It's like, do I do this or do I do this? I have two great ideas. Which one do I do? Which one's better?
Yeah.
And he's really good at helping me just like make the decision, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but more than that, I mean, he's the one who encouraged us really to do this real band vibe, like, and work together on the songs at pre-production in a live setting and all of that.
So you had a lot to do with that.
Absolutely.
Is it cool to be at a place where you can actually just go pick whoever you want on your?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
because you have Beck's dad on there too, right?
As always, he's
Yeah.
been a part of all of our records, and he's a wonderful genius, Dave Campbell.
But I mean,
yes.
to work with these type of people, you know,
Yeah.
like a lot of bands don't have that liberty to
Very
be able to
right.
go find Nick and then ask him to do.
Yeah, and then have him say yes.
Yeah.
Nick's very selective too. He only works on projects he really likes, you know, which is good. You don't want somebody to work on your record if they don't like it.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna suck. It's very cool just being at this stage in our career where we've had a couple of records and had some success, so we can do things like take 5 years in between, or have Dave Campbell do the strings on the record and work with one of the best rock producers in the world. You know, it's very awesome, very, very cool.
Tell me about doing a Muppet song, because that's Amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That was just for fun.
Yeah. Did
It's
they
funny-
ask you or?
Yeah, it was funny because well, after I did a song on the Nightmare Before Christmas cover,
Yeah, Sally's song.
and that went
Amazing
really
movie.
well. Yeah, I know. One of probably my favorite of all time. So I did that and developed a nice relationship with Disney, and they liked that a lot. So
Okay,
when they did the Muppets thing, they're like, "You want to do this too?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" But that was a couple of years ago, and it was just me, being fun and weird and solo on my own, and with my friend who's a programmer who's awesome. And it's funny because it was supposed to come out in like 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
And then it was like the next summer, next winter, next summer, next winter, to finally I was like, it's never going to come out. Fine, okay. And I forgot about it. And now we're in a whole different place and making this big rock album, and my funny, quirky solo songs coming out at the same time. But it's great.
Did you meet Kermit?
No, I want to.
That'd be awesome. Me too. And then I have to ask, you mentioned Sally's song and, the solo stuff. Are you ever going to do a solo record? I know you're
I don't
focusing
know.
on Evanescence
Yeah.
right now. But because I read something about Celtic influence, and that was pretty rad to hear. And I don't know, are you ever going to do it?
That was sort of misunderstanding. I said folk. They thought I meant Celtic. I meant like Neil Young. But that's okay.
Yeah,
I like some Celtic music. Anyway, I don't know where
You're going to be jigging on
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. I don't want to say yeah or no for sure, but I think it's highly possible that down the road at some point I'll do a solo record. I've got so much music now that's more suited towards that than Evanescence that I really believe in and don't want to go to waste. So I think at some point it's inevitable that I'll be doing something else too. But absolutely, right now all I can think about is Evanescence and this new record.
Last question. How cool is Tim Burton and Danny Elfman? You met them, right?
I've never met Tim Burton.
Oh, really?
I
Okay,
would
well.
love to. If he would do a video of ours, I would be able to die happy.
You own a jacket of his, though? Is that correct?
I do. I have found it at an estate sale a long time ago. Yeah, that's
At where? At like a
like
garage
a-
sale?
No, not a garage sale, but like it was a
The best
special
garage
this is
sale ever.
Tim Burton stuff selling it thing. But I did meet Danny Elfman, and he is very cool. He let me come over to his house, showed me his art collection and where he works, and that was a big thing for me as a fan and as a fan of him as a creator for sure. It was awesome.
Sweet. Does he live in like a castle or something?
Almost, kind of. Just a really, really cool place in LA.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amy, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy the tour.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.